All right, back with Coach G. I'm trying to help y'all become unguardable on the basketball court. All right, so we got 3 unstoppable shots, unguardable shots, however you want to put it. The first one we're going to talk about today is the pull-up. All right, at any size, a pull-up, being able to get to a spot, and when you know you're going to pull up and the defense doesn't, it's a hard shot. It's a hard shot to stop. So the biggest thing is, I always talk about mentality and getting certain shots off. So once you become a downhill assassin where you're just strictly killing, getting to the rim, all right? Killing to the rim, right? Then that creates in the defender's mind, I gotta give a step. Once you start seeing that and they start playing off you just a little bit, that's when you're gonna start to add the pull-up into your game, okay? So the biggest thing is when you're on defense, right? When you're reading the defense, only thing we're trying to do is get the defense to drop either foot. Once they do this here and they're sliding, or here and they're sliding, watching the feet. Once they get into this point and they are going to retreat, we're going straight up into the pull-up, all right? So you could do it active dribble out of a triple threat. For the triple threat, right? I'm here, I'm playing out of it, and I'm using pace to set it up, right? So if I catch here, I'm triple threat, and then I'm exploding to the rim. As soon as I go to explode, I'm gonna attack that foot to get him to drop it. And once they drop the foot, instead of continuing to the rim, I'm going here, I'm going straight up, all right? And the biggest thing is playing with your feet as well and playing with the distance that you need, right? So depending on how tall or the length that they have, you wanna be able to play within that. So if I go here and my defender has his arms are a little bit longer to contest the shot, my steps might be a little bit shorter. So instead of going here and trying to get here, if he backs up a little bit, I might just go here and take 2 small steps. So you got to play with the length that you have with the steps that you take so that you can feel comfortable getting to whatever pull-up you want to get to.
So you want to take your game to the next level? Join our Believe School. Imagine an online community from the comfort of your own home. We have dribbling, shooting, and defensive drills, weekly workouts, and live calls. Let us help you by giving you the advice you need to take your game to the next level.
Second thing is, if you're starting with a live dribble, I have my spots pretty much pointed out for me. I like to get to the elbows and kind of like the short corner area to get to my pull-up. So if I'm going left, going that way, I'm going to there. Elbows. It's pretty simple. So when I'm in an active dribble, I know once I look and I'm looking around, I'm trying to see what spots I can get to, and then it's the same concept. It just might change the amount of dribbles you need to get to that spot, but you're still selling downhill. So I might get downhill and I'm going in and he's already on a retreat. The thing is, when you're reading the defender, once you see shoulder and they are in a retreat like this, you gotta pull up. You gotta pull up. There's no reason to take, they can't recover. And a lot of the times they're gonna recover here like this. So it's gonna be an open shot. And what I mean by open is you're just able to get it off. Once you're able to get the shot off, it's just, at that point, you're just focusing on just putting making sure the ball goes in. You need reps to do that. So it's not gonna be like a completely open shot, but once you get here and it's just a contest, it's a makeable shot once you get the enough amount of reps, okay? The second shot we're gonna go into, right, is the floater. So there's like this gray area in between a pull-up and actually getting to the rim. So especially for small guards, when you start to get into the paint and you're constantly getting 2 feet in the paint, a lot of the times you're not always going to be able to get here and finish underneath the rim. So instead of doing all of the fighting and trying to figure out which layup I'm going to do and how I'm going to do this, and you got somebody taller guarding you, and then you also have to score over to help, the floater takes away all of the second guesses that you have to do. And it's honestly the same pretty much look that you're looking for out of a pull-up. you're trying to sail downhill, and as you're going, instead of getting to a certain spot, I'm going around. Once you break the free throw line, that's your decision line. So once you break here, I'm looking for the floater, and I'm reading whoever the help is. To be honest, once you start to understand how to get your floater off, because it's a process, it's a different process for everybody. Because you can go inside hand, you can go outside hand, and it all depends on the feet. So to make it hard to guard, you switch up the steps. So you could go one step and I shoot right off of a quick one, right? Or you go two and you get away, but you're really just worried about the help and how close they are. So that's how you kind of gauge between the difference of a floater and a pull-up. Pull-up, I'm getting here. A floater, I might be a little bit closer in, and I can see the big coming up to try to help. And before he gets there, I'm just trying to get it off as fast as possible. All right. So I'm beating my man, and I'm watching where the help is coming out, where the help is coming. All right. So once the help rotates over, I'm reading where they are, and as soon as that happens, boom, before they can get to me, I'm shooting a floater. All right, you got to get a high level of reps up with the floater, because once you do, it becomes unguardable. I'm telling you. Ask Tony Parker. He was one that I watched all the time. He was the giant killer. Last one we got is the fade. All right, it's fade away. So you could combine this with the pull-up as well. So that's the first thing. I'm doing the same thing, and I'm getting to where I want to get to. Everything is the same footwork. Now, when you get to your shot, to give yourself some separation, you're just going to add a little fade. Either way. So first, practice the mechanics of your pull-up and getting that off. And then what's going to make it even harder to guard is just adding this slight fade, because it's going to give you more space. It's going to give you more time to just focus on the rim and where you got to put the ball at for the shot to go in. So you're reading these different situations. So you got the post here, you got the pull up. Another thing is just playing around in the paint. So once you get into the paint, you're shooting these small little fadeaways, but they're close shots. So I could get all the way 2 feet here, and I could just fade here. Instead of going to a floater, you're a little bit more under control a little bit. So I can get here, boom. Kyrie and the smaller guards, especially like AI was great. He would dribble across the paint, get right here, and fade this way. Small, just little fades going away here, right? It's kind of in the same sense. It's pretty similar to a floater. You're just able to gauge which shots you want to take. Every situation is just a little bit different. And then even if you decide to move out, Steph does a great job he does his out of moves. So he'll start to dance on you crazy here, and he's getting away, and then he's fading here, especially off that behind the back. He's fading here. There's like the fade is just for you to get separation, that little bit of separation, and just time, so that you can, it just becomes unguardable. You can't really stop it. All right. So those are the 3 moves. You got a fade, you got your pull up, and your floater. Make sure you're getting your reps, because that's what's going to turn you up through all of this. All right, get as many reps as you need to, and then once you get your reps in, make sure you're playing live. Playing live is what is going to get you better. You got to play one-on-one, play one-on-twos, like try just 21, 33 around here. Whatever you want to do to get yourself in a live situation and environment. 5-on-5, that's what you have to do to practice this stuff. All right, because the more you play, the more you practice, you're going to put yourself in those situations to use those moves. And then at that point, it becomes like clockwork, and you'll be able to read every situation, and then it'll become instinctual. Once it becomes instinctual and you don't have to think about it, you're there. All right, so Believe Basketball, 3 unguardable moves. Peace.